A wise man proportions his belief to the evidence. There is no such thing as freedom of choice unless there is freedom to refuse. When men are most sure and arrogant, they are commonly most mistaken. Beauty in things exists in the mind which contemplates them. It is seldom that liberty of any kind is lost all at once. Slavery has so frightful an aspect to men accustomed to freedom that it must steal upon them by degrees, and must disguise itself in 1,000 shapes in order to be received. Nothing is more surprising than the easiness with which the many are governed by the few. All knowledge degenerates into probability. I do not have enough faith to believe there is no God. Anything that is conceivable is possible. Truth springs from argument amongst friends. To hate, to love, to think, to feel, to see, all this is nothing but to perceive. The life of man is of no greater importance to the universe than that of an oyster. Beauty is no quality in things themselves. It exists merely in the mind which contemplates them, and each mind perceives a different beauty. A little philosophy makes a man an atheist, a great deal converts him to religion. Reading and sauntering and lounging and dosing, which are called thinking, is my supreme happiness. Anticipation of pleasure is in itself a very considerable pleasure. No amount of observations of white swans can allow the inference that all swans are white, but the observation of a single black swan is sufficient to refute that conclusion. The corruption of the best things gives rise to the worst. History is the discovering of the principles of human nature. Beauty, whether moral or natural, is felt more properly than perceived. When I hear that a man is religious, I conclude he is a rascal. He is happy whom circumstances suit his temper, but he is more excellent who suits his temper to any circumstance. Men often act knowingly against their interest. Reason is, and ought only to be, the slave of the passions. Eloquence, at its highest pitch, leaves little room for reason or reflection, but addresses itself entirely to the desires and affections, captivating the willing hearers and subduing their understanding. The supposition that the future resembles the past is not founded on arguments of any kind, but is derived entirely from habit. Liberty of thinking and of expressing our thoughts is always fatal to priestly power, and to those pious frauds on which it is commonly founded. Morals excite passions and produce or prevent actions. Reason of itself is utterly impotent in this particular. The rules of morality, therefore, are not conclusions of our reason. Of all sciences, there is none where first appearances are more deceitful than in politics. The consequence of a very free commerce between the sexes and of their living much together will often terminate in intrigues and gallantry. Everything in the world is purchased by labor. Be a philosopher, but amid all your philosophy, be still a man. Nothing exists without a cause, the original cause of this universe we call God. I never asserted such an absurd thing as that things arise without a cause. It is not reason which is the guide of life, but custom. All power, even the most despotic, rests ultimately on opinion. When men are most sure and arrogant, they are commonly most mistaken, giving views to passion without that proper deliberation, which alone can secure them from the grossest absurdities. Nothing indeed can be a stronger presumption of falsehood than the approbation of the multitude. Liberty of any kind is never lost all at once. While we are reasoning concerning life, life is gone.